Rita Simpson Brown was an employee. She was a permanent secretary. There are many who would have benefited underneath her. But the sad thing about her is that her information can come out. But and that is one of the problems that I have with propaganda. We are seeing one side, and the many people who are putting it out there would know that they too would have had similar situations, similar concessions. It is the norm. There are people where lands were supposed to be sold at $3 and $4 per square foot would have been getting it for $1.50 based on who you supported and where you were, what your standings were based on the party that was in government. It has happened all the time. But the unfortunate thing is that some of these information never came out. Propaganda is a serious problem we have here in St. Kitts and Nevis. And I'm grateful, and I want to say this, and I'm grateful for you, Dr. Jew, where and Andrew Huey having the interview, the first interview, and one of the things that he made, and I'm going to use Honorable Mark Brantley's word, famous word, pellucid declare that the government has inherited a very strong economy. So for those of you who are listening to about how Timothy has been failing and he has failed that, and not only a very strong economy, there are programs that are in place, and according to Dr. Ju, yes, those programs can be sustained. So those of you who are saying that it was pies in the sky and promises and promises, these have been proven. There's a God that I serve, and he is stronger and greater than any other gods that some people would serve. And the truth will prevail. I know I hear people are asking for the truth, the program, the truth to come out. The truth is there, and it's going to continue because the truth must be told. We need a government, we need a country where it is governed not by propaganda, but by the truth. And this is one of the things that I say, and I would continue to say. We have seen the propaganda machine at work. It has worked on all sides of politicians use this, and I'm going to say this once and for all. It is something that we have to stop. We are seeing that other people are coming into our country, and they are benefiting big time. I know of foreigners who have 5, 6, 7, 8 pieces of government land. It's a question I've been asking since when. Elrita bought a piece of land, and she was a situation where, and I can attest to that, where the land was not, it wasn't straight, and so she took in some of that, the area, and she was asked to pay for it. She paid for it, so what is the problem? Why are you taking the young lady's name and you're maligning her character? Why? It is not right. She's a citizen. She was given a job to do, which she did, and there are many people who would have benefited from her. There are over 7,000 people on PAP, 6,000 to 7,000 people on PAP. She was the person responsible for it. And be you Labour, PAM, CCM, PLP, whatever you are placed on that program. And she never asked which party you supported or whatever the situation is. You are there. So why are you all demeaning it? Look at the Chinese. How many pieces of land do the Chinese own? We are not looking at that. Look at the Guyanese. How many pieces of land? You see they're building their big houses. Look at the Jamaicans. I'm not saying it's wrong for them to come here and get. But what is wrong with citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis being able to purchase land? Purchase land. I remember one time I saw my land that I purchased from government being placed on social media. That didn't faze me. It didn't. But what I thought about was the mindset of people who live here. People feel like they've been disenfranchised, and they have a reason to argue and make noise for their situation. But when PLP or Unity was in government, you talk about this thing, you thought it was wrong, and now Labour is in government, you're doing the same thing. So is it wrong? Or is it right? Or it depends on who's benefiting. We have to stop it. The country needs to heal. This divisiveness that politicians, the things that you say on the platform, it's done. Campaigning is over. It's time for us to heal. The Labour government needs the support from all. Just like Unity used to say, and PLP would have said, we welcome all. Let that be the mantra. Everybody has to build this nation. And the sad part about it, like I said, I see people walking around trying to identify themselves as Labour, walking with a kerchief, a red handkerchief, tying a bandana around their head, wearing red shoes or a red bag just to identify themselves. Why? Why do you have to do this? Why can't we live? It doesn't matter which political party we support. We had 7 years where a whole lot of Labour supporters were in strong positions, and they're still there under a unity government. So why now that the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party is in power, people have to be afraid? People have to walk around in fear, hoping that they're not embarrassed. Dr. Drew, a chain is as strong as its weakest link. You, Honorable Prime Minister, sir, it's going to take some time to say that, but the chain is as strong as its weakest link. Nothing can bring you down faster than supporters, and I can tell you this. There are a lot of people who are going to pretend that like they support you, but again, they are opportunists. And everybody wants an opportunity. Everybody are given special privileges. So not when it depends on where you are and what position you are by the party that you support. And for God's sake, man, the lady has work. She has decided to invest in real estate. She has a business. She has to live after this. Victimization has to stop. Ira speaks about good governance. I'm waiting to see. And I'm looking forward to the future, to having these kind of discussions. It's too early. You all are coming for blood. It's not right. We are all citizens of this federation. We ran, and I have always spoke, my programs are always about issues, not personalities. We have to stop that. People had a right to talk freely without fear. People had a right to protest without fear. People disrespected the Honorable Prime Minister Timothy Harris when he was then. And they got away scot-free. People have a right to speak and speak freely. But all of those pretenders, more sooner than later, we would see them like we've seen their colors. Everybody needs an opportunity. It's a hard world. People want to live, and there's sometimes people are going to sell their souls so that they can live. And we want people to understand that. We want an economy that everyone is going to benefit from. Not people having to push people on the bus or use step ladders to get to the top. We have to put our foot down and decide enough is enough. We are a week away from past campaigning. You know, I came in here this morning and you can see the confusion that I've had. The fact that I was confused because there's so many things that are going on and I want to talk about them. But you know, it's a clear mind that you have to sit down and come so that you are not confused and say the wrong things. It's over and done. We have all benefited. The PAP program is in place. IMF, we no longer have any obligations to them. The lands were bought back and no longer swapped. People are able to get lands. There are promises that have been made. All of a sudden, everything has to shut down. Stop. We are citizens. Deal with the people who are in offices, not the ordinary citizens. People got land, they can't go pay for their land, and they're afraid that they're going to lose their lands because you see people who are coming in. And they were not in the wilderness because a lot of them were benefiting. And see again, one set gone, another set going to come. And I'm going to say to the ordinary citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis, you are always going to be on PAP. You're always going to be begging for a house. You're always going to be sucking up and carry and bringing coming information. You're always going to be placed in that position. Politicians look after their friends and families. So don't let anybody fool you and tell you one politician is going to do that. All of them do that. As a matter of fact, a lot of the prime minister is advised. Everybody, they talk about, oh, they were old people, PLP, Unity have old people in position, and older ones are coming. Everybody wants to see everybody's business. Oh, bring it out. We're going to see things. See what? It is something that happens under all administration. You can see Alrita's information. What about the others who have been given 2 acres of prime land for next to nothing? It's a practice where people are given concessions. There are circumstances where people are given concessions. And let me ask any one of you, if you, and don't vote for me if I put myself up to government, because I am going to look after friends and family too. Because at the end of the day, they have to live. What do you think is going to happen to Dr. Harris's family? You don't even have to think, because it has been said. What do you think? You see what is happening to Alrita Simpson Brown? She was performing in her duties as a permanent secretary of sustainable development. Everybody wants to know why she wants to buy so much. Why the Chinese wants to buy so much? Why some ministers of government has so much? Why are you asking why? People want to invest otherwise. So what is the problem with that? And that is why black people is always going to be, always we are going to be on the bottom of the chain, because we are divided. We can't see our own fellow people rise. It is always that grudge and greed and envy and bitterness and hatred that is going to separate us. Why? Because people are greedy. Nobody wants to work for what they want. Everybody wants to have a favor done. And for those of you who are waiting for my information to come, you better make sure that your heart is right with God, because my information is going to come up when God comes. There's nothing in there on me. And so what? I am a citizen of this federation. I don't have a green card. I don't have no kind of card. I have no citizenship otherwise. Under every government I have to live. I have no intention of running. A lot of you ran, and a lot of you want to come back now. And people who would have stayed, everybody wants to come and fill position, or they're part of the transition team. Everybody's saying who's going to be Governor General. It's about personal achievements. People want to benefit personally. And for all of those who are in line to get in there, it's sad, because, you know, the majority of the ministers for labor, they are basically new. I think there are five new ones that have to go in there. I mean, 5 or 3. 3 of them will be new, fresh. They have to be given a chance. When people are campaigning, they're campaigning to win. So there's certain rhetoric that you're going to hear. It's not so that you can become an enemy. People have to have that understanding. So now that you're sending all of these threats, what you're not going to do, and what you, it's ridiculous. It has to stop. But like I said, we understand, and everybody's going to quote. Dr. Ju wrote this morning, and I was pleased with what he said. And I'm going to read what he said, because it's something that we have to understand. He said, "Greetings. For 7 years, our nation waited for the Federation for Freedom Day, so as to restore the principles of democracy, integrity, and good governance." I like those words. 1 week ago today, we went to the polls in our massive numbers as a people and voted for a Sinkis Nevis Labour Party. The voice of the people has set a clear mandate for our beloved federation, and together we shall get it done. Democracy, integrity, and good governance. Not bringing out people's personal information and spewing it and placing it on social media. It's people's personal information. Why? The victimization. We have had 7 years. Some people who felt that they were disenfranchised. Some people who were blaming and would continue to blame the government. But guess what? These same people, because of their nature and their characteristics, they are going to be the ones who come out first. Wait. Time is twine. Time is longer than twine. Let us work together in harmony and as one. This federation belongs to all of us. All of us have to live in it. Doesn't matter who is in power. But I'm asking the people, the powers that be, not the supporters, because all of them think that they can be placed in positions. When your disappointment comes, I do hope that you're loyal. And I'm glad, because I'm going to say to those of you who used to come, don't come, because I have nothing to give. People play games. It was God's will. St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party is now the government. They have formed the government. Give them a chance to get in. The ministers have not yet been sworn in and information is coming out. Why? Why? These are personal information. These are people, this is a lady who would have paid for her lands. If she was given lands free, I would have had a problem with it. She paid for them. You're maligning the lady's character. She has children. One of the things you must say about the unity construct when they were in there, it wasn't about personalities. Even the campaign that was run, it wasn't about personalities. People were asking the Prime Minister, come out and say certain things, but he was honorable. And if you're honest, you would see that. It wasn't about personalities, it was about issues. Promises, not just promises. These are programs that we're going to put in place to help the people. And according to Dr. Drew, they would have been sustainable because the money is in the treasury. The economy is strong. That is a plus. This is why you put people in office. These are your concerns, the things that you should be concerned about. Not about who get. A lot of you can't afford to buy land. Find yourself in positions where you can afford to do these things. And so what? She has children. Who wouldn't want to make sure that their children's future is secure? Now, what is going to happen to her as a permanent secretary? It's wrong. And you wonder if our system used to run like other countries. St. Kitts is one of the only countries in the world that talks politics 365 days a year, 24 hours a day. That's all we do. Politics. Let us come together and rebuild and try to live in harmony. They know who their true supporters are. You are going to benefit. You will be looked after, I hope. Give people a chance to live. Honorable Prime Minister, you're the leader of this country. You are responsible for every citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis. Doesn't matter what your political support, where your political support goes to. It doesn't matter. Everybody should be treated fairly. That is what you've been asking for. And I'm going to open the lines, and I'm going to say to you guys, you have a say. If you want to call in, you want to express your whatever your grievances are, and you want to extend congratulations to the St. Kitts Nevis Labour Party, whatever it is. But I'm going to let you know, when you start to become disrespectful, I am going to cut you off. We are not doing this. This is not what your views is all about. I wasn't going to open the lines, but I am going to do so. We have to learn to live in harmony. It is done. Let us wait and see. It's only a week. The ministers have not yet been sworn in. The Prime Minister have not yet started what he have started. And supporters, you would have gotten what you wanted on the 6th of August, 2022. Enjoy your win. That is what it's about. If you want to call in and be a part of the program, the numbers you can call is 662-0989, 762-0989, or 466-0989. Those are the numbers you can call in if you want to be a part on, or whatever you want to say on the program, you can call in and do so. We have a caller already. Let's take this call. Caller, you're live on Your Views.
Hello, good morning.
Hi, good morning.
Yes, Miss Greeley.
Hi.
I'm sorry to say, but from the time you came on the air this morning, you have been contradicting yourself over and over. The last statement, right, is that move on. They just got in. They're not even being sworn in yet. But yet, you yourself start to find criticism in a government that ain't come there yet.
Tell me what the criticisms are. What did I say? Don't start saying no. I said to you. I said to you.
Look, man, you said up to a plethora of things.
Tell me what I said. Tell me what I said. Tell me one.
You know what you said.
Tell me what.
You
see,
said,
I'm not doing this. You all have done this all along. I just said the words. Listen to me. I just said the words. Say what I said. What did I say to criticize the government?
And besides that, you're talking about whatever the problem with this young lady on with the land or whatever. There's a difference between something happening and the circumstances in which they happen. You cannot just throw away a statement if you're not dealing with the circumstances in which it happens. How you could sell yourself land?
She never sold herself land. Hey, listen. I'm not doing this. I'm not.
2 days before.
Let's take this off. I'm not doing this. Honestly. You see, this is the things. This is the things. I have take the call. I have another call online. But these are the things that I have a problem with. You see how simple it is? Ask what I would have said. Don't come with a broad-based statement and say I have started to criticize. What have I said? Tell me the things that I would have said. Let's take this call. Caller, you're live on Your Views.
Good afternoon. Good morning, Sandra Agaton.
Hi. Good morning.
My name is Curtis Crook.
Yes, Curtis.
Sandra, I listened to you venting about El Zero, I mean the lady with the land. I understand to a point what you're saying. But Sandra, how much years I've been crying to you about the behavior of Timothy Harris with Curtis Crook with 3 children. Could not walk in the country. Could not work because Timothy Harris think it best to take on the ID from the airport.
But Timothy
Harris was harassing TDC to fire Curtis Cook.
Curtis, and you have you I understand where the ID is concerned.
Let me finish, please. Let me finish.
Yeah.
Let me finish because you just went. Let us be fair. You just went. So don't give the impression that Timothy Harris was this nice guy.
I'm not giving an impression, but I'm going to say, listen to me, Curtis, though. What I'm saying to you, though, is I don't want you to come and say things that you cannot substantiate.
Sandra, let me finish, please.
Go ahead.
I'm not saying nothing. What did not happen?
Please.
These are the facts, 1,000% Curtis Cook speaking. Can't give me name. So there's no issue about what I'm saying, Sandra.
Yeah.
Because I've been waiting for 3 long years to speak.
But you've been speaking all along. Nobody stopped you from speaking.
Sandra, I was speaking all along because I wasn't afraid to speak.
Exactly, you have that right.
The airport ID was taken away for no reason, Sandra. Up until I left the job with the vaccine, where I was getting jobs at the airport with private planes, Timothy refused to give me my airport ID, so I could walk again.
Timothy was not the minister. Timothy was not the minister of that.
Timothy Harris is the prime minister.
But he was not the minister of Gaspar.
He was in charge. He fired 6 people. So you don't tell me he wasn't the minister. Timothy was in charge fully because he's just not talking about Joe. Timothy was fully in charge. He just fired 6 politicians. So don't find no excuses because you hear me screaming. I talk about Mark Bradley. I talk to Sean. I talk to everybody. Sandra, listen to me, and I agree with you 1,000%. Let me say today, I will not be the one, the way how Timothy Harris treat me, including Douglas, give him all the accolades, give him what for him. And I'm going to say again the same thing what you're saying. I do not believe in the way how it's been treated for the last 7 years. People should be treated that way, and you're right. But you see, Sandra, there's a God up above.
Yes.
Because when Timothy Harris got in power, you are renting government headquarters, drag down Douglas pictures. Hey, my God, that day, the videos is still around.
Yes.
So Sandra, please, don't come today to make the world feel that since Labour gets in power, the worst thing that happened. Sandra,
Who said that? Who's saying that? Who's saying that? I said, and listen to me, I said, and I'm going to say it again. You have been waiting for this time. It's happening. Enjoy it. Give the man a chance to become the prime minister that he said he's going to be. You said you had a problem with what Timothy did. It hurts you. So why you all want to do it now?
Listen again. I will not be a part of any group going after the ordinary man in this country. I said that to you.
Good.
But I'm making the point to you, Sandra. The point here now speaking to you. That Curtis Crook, a hard-working man, 25 years at TDC, 15 at the airport for TDC. And one morning I got up. Timothy Harris, the Prime Minister, they sent a letter, your risk to the airport, your ID revoked with immediate effect.
Timothy Harris signed it?
Up until today,
Timothy Harris signed it?
Conversation with the Prime Minister.
Timothy Harris signed it?
Hello?
Did Timothy Harris sign it?
Sandra.
No, man, but Curtis, you have to be fair, though.
Being technical. He does not have to sign nothing. All he needs to give the order.
But you can't make an assumption. You cannot make an assumption like that. And this is what I'm trying to say to you.
I'm not making no assumption. Timothy Harris is the Prime Minister. Whatever go on in the country, he must have known.
No, you have ministers. No, and I'm not going to do this. No, I'm not going to do this. There are ministers of government who have portfolios, and that is one of the reasons why they're given portfolios. The Prime Minister cannot oversee everything that happens in the country.
Okay.
From the beginning.
May I ask a question, Sandra? Why all the years I've been talking, I never see you vent like this about what happened to me at the airport?
Who? Curtis Cook, you hear me said, you even got your roof done. You even got your roof done. You and I talk on the side of the road. We've had discussions.
Let me explain to you about the roof. Listen to me about the roof. I'm glad you bring it up enough. The guy who put the roof on me, who helped fix, put in 5 shingles, the fella Diaz. Timothy Harris and the government was vexed with the man for doing the roof. That is why the building next to government is
Let me tell you something, Curtis. You have a problem, and it's obvious.
The roof. Timothy Harris did not vote the boy.
You have a problem with Timothy Harris, and it's something that you're going to have to deal with. You all have to learn.
All my life at the airport, listen again, for 7 years. You never hear me do anything.
Curtis.
I have a problem with him because he's personal with people. You must admit that, Sandra.
I don't. You want me to admit? You want me to admit something that I don't know? I have. You have had your experience with Timothy. I find Timothy has. Listen. You have had. You. Curtis, I'm not even going to entertain this because you're being ridiculous by making statements like that. Look at where the country is. Look at where the country. Look at where.
Wicked man is an evil man. That's why we kick him out.
Let's take this. Let's take another call. It's a pity when people are going to go down. I tell you, it's about the bitterness and the hatred of people, and they're going to take it to that point where you are not looking at the issues. Timothy's personalities and his characteristics, this is what you've done, demonize and villainize. But look at the end of the day where we are as a country. Our economy is strong. These are the things that we should concern ourselves about, not these petty little problems. I mean, talking about the fact that a prime minister would have taken away your ID. This is the same thing that people are going to have problems, and they're going to say the same thing about Dr. Jew. It's not right. People have to recognize that ministers are given portfolios, and their responsibilities are there. Do not come on and say things about, oh, he did this, and he bring the facts. I said, Elrita Simpson Brown is not in public office. She's a permanent secretary, just like everybody else. And I say, they're going to be they're going to be provided. Evidence is going to be provided where people have been given the same concessions. And nobody's talking about it. It is sad. People who hold political office, they have to stand up and face the music. If they have done things that is contrary to what they were supposed to do, they have to face the music. I'm not here to defend them. I am here to defend, and I'm going to tell you, I am here to tell you about the things that were done. the programs that were put in place. We have a call online. Let's take this call. Caller, you're live on your
Hello,
views.
good morning,
Hi, good
Sandra.
morning, good
How are
morning.
you?
I am good.
Well, I'm feeling good this morning. And
That's
this
good.
is this second Friday now. Now I win.
You win again. And it's the sad part about it, Nuts Lady, is I am happy that you would have won. But you, and it's the sad things where people are going to take praise and, oh, we would have done this, and it's great. You would have won, I would have won.
Oh,
We all would have won.
yeah. Talking about land, I'm with a lady. Let me tell you, can't nobody tell me now, That lady took a piece of land from somebody. She not took it alone. She the person paid her for the land. And these people is from
Paid her for
Bolingbroke.
the land. You don't pay. You pay the land money into the treasury. What are you talking about?
They paid her to the treasury. She take the land, send it to somebody else right there by the when a mango place over there. Here, I went in a certain bus, and this person said this person was my brother, and I really think things would have been different. So she used to do all of the stupidness, but we don't have no real love for that. I don't know if you won't know that, but because I'm older than you, but in Mr. Bratcher time, there was a certain man used to live up by the park. He died now. He had one son alive working the little one. I don't have to call his name. You did that, and Mr. Bratcher see that he goes to prison. Mr. Bratcher gave him an opportunity was to sell land, and he took the land and sell it to 2, 3, 4 people. And it come a point in time when people came back and asked him for the land, he couldn't present the land to them.
You're on a different story. Elrita doesn't sell land. Lands are allocated to citizens and they pay their money into the treasury. I don't know where you're coming with
Person went to her and she take the person money.
Girl,
And she sell over the land again.
let's take another call, please. You see, these are the kind of things, and I'm happy that they're coming through, so people can have a good understanding of how people are not informed and how people can spread propaganda, malign people's character without having any information. I mean, people don't seem to. Let's take another call. Caller, your life on your views.
Sandra,
Hi.
good morning.
Good morning.
Yes, sounds like you want to take your life this morning, man.
Yeah, everybody coming in. I'm strong. You see how broad my back is? I can take anything.
Yeah. But it would have been so much easier if things were done correctly, huh?
Mm-hmm.
And you know the old saying, we're gone by the morning?
Can't come good in the evening.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. I hope
The
everybody
problem,
learn
the
by the
problem
mistakes.
the problem that you just that you referred to with the permanent secretary
Mm-hmm.
reminds me so much of the payments to the task force people. Okay,
How?
where the one who presented it had said that she had to recuse herself.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is, Sandra, I know because we've discussed this before
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
on the program, and even with Weeks, I think it was,
Mm-hmm.
and Japan. Of course, people would be inclined to help their family. That's human nature.
Natural.
But help them with your own money. This is public funds, and therefore they should not be given favoritism. They should be part of the criteria and selection process like any other civil servant
Yeah.
or citizen.
Uh-huh. And you're saying
And
that
it is
you're losing me.
saying-
What are we talking about? The lands that were sold.
like things like the land sales and being a beneficiary of any kind
Yeah.
of
Exactly.
government largesse.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying that it should be arm's length transaction. Whatever the criteria that is set up, they should meet it. Whatever, there should be no favoritism involved.
Exactly.
That is what good governance is about in the fair analysis,
Mm-hmm.
right? Justice and fairness for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
and you should go. They should go out of the way to show that this was the case.
Mhm.
And the suspicion that people have is that this was not the case.
But it
You
was.
mentioned the fact. Hold on. You
Uh-huh.
mentioned the fact, right? That the ministers have not even been sworn in yet, but these things are coming out about them. You know why?
Mhm.
I suspect it's because people who were involved in these things knew that this was not right. Okay? But obviously they were afraid to say anything. And so the transactions went through. And so now they're being leaked.
Okay, let me
Even
ask.
before the new government got
Okay,
in,
let me ask you a
because
question.
it was not done correctly.
Let me ask you a question though, and
Yeah.
it is misleading when you're gonna print one part and not the other. There are procedures, and it is sad that there's certain things that you wouldn't see, and when people are leaking stuff, there were procedures that were followed. Elrita couldn't sign off on land for herself. She had to go through the proper procedure. I know of it, and the reason why I'm defending her is because of the fact, especially with a little piece of land. I was in discussion with somebody who was talking about it, and she had to pay for the little piece because she took in, the land was curved, and I don't have to, this is a personal business. Really don't want to discuss it. But these are the things that happen. How many lands have she had? You're talking about three pieces of land she would have paid for. What is wrong with a citizen? So because she's a permanent secretary, she should not be given land? That's what you're saying?
Did you hear what I said? She should not be favored for that.
But there was
because
no
she's a permanent
favoritism there. You
Right.
have seen other people in the
Then-
same
then-
area.
Then
Listen
then
to
she
me,
should
what I'm
go-
saying.
Then she should go above and beyond to show that there was none.
Well, of course she has.
Right?
Let me tell you, there are people out there who would have had the same benefits. Why they're only looking at her piece? In all of the different administrations, we've had situations like this where everybody has been given. You know how long I've been trying to apply for a piece of land? When I got the land was placed on the internet. You know how many years?
But that is what incensed people, because there are a lot of people on whatever waiting list. for
I've
land.
been waiting since
Um,
2000, since 1995, 1990,
And you
from
were not
1980,
alone. You
from
were not-
1980,
Trust me, Sandra.
from
Trust
9.
me, Sandra. You know you were not alone.
Exactly.
And that is all the more reason why the criteria, the specs for why particular people should get ahead of others, why all of those should be a transparent, open process.
But the
so
fact
that these kinds of things don't happen.
But the fact that the people could have gotten her file, it means that she went through the proper protocols. The fact that the information can be placed out there is because she had gone through the proper protocols. The information would not have been there if she went otherwise. And this is what I'm trying to say. She is.
Well, I mean, if you're right,
And I
about
am
the fact
right.
that she got the quantities of land and for the price that was across the board, the same as other people. I can understand.
And that is what it is.
Okay.
And that's what I'm
But-
saying.
but-
That's why I'm
but-
defending it.
But we're not sure that that is what it is. But there's another matter that you said, that Dr. Jew said that the economy is strong, etc., etc. I don't know. We probably heard a different interview,
That was one
right, I have
interview
to go
heard
back
with
and
Andrew
hold
Huey,
on.
yeah.
because what I heard him say was that he's still doing assessment before he determines that.
But he
I
made
never heard him. I heard him being hopeful that the programs and so on should be able to continue because there would be money, and there were money budgeted already for them to continue, right? But this overall, to go from there to saying that the economy is strong, I hope it is.
we
But I
should
didn't.
be-
What I'm saying is I didn't hear Dr. Drew say so. So don't quote him. What I heard him say is that he was doing assessment to determine the exact status of the economy, right? But it's nice to see that you're now on the side of doing things correctly.
I've always been on
good
that side.
governance,
I've always
because
been
you
on that side.
No, you always question this good governance thing, right? And
Ira,
they knew exactly what good governance was.
Ira, and
but
I
they
told
pretend that
you,
they didn't.
you and I have had a discussion about good governance. You talk about integrity in public life and the other. I spoke to you about the good governance agenda where everybody Everybody, it doesn't matter your political persuasion, they've been looked after. We talk about a lot of things that has been victimization and all those things.
No.
We're not-
That's different. No, that's different from the things like integrity in public life and absence of corruption and making sure.
I want to see a
correctly.
government. And I can't wait. If this is the government that is going to have an absence of corruption, and who's going to pull, I want to see the first 90 days that integrity in public life before people start going and get in and create an environment where, I can present what I would have had. Do it in 90 days. Let us see what you
Well,
have.
me too, because
I wanna
because
see
you
it.
realize, you realize that despite all the narrative that you had, people have get a feel this in their gut feeling. They know when things are not being done right, right? And that is the only way you can explain such a big swing away from PLP, right? There was just this feeling that no man, we can't have 5 more years of this. Things were just not being done right. So I expect that the new government, having come in on that wave and realizing that, would definitely do things differently.
Yeah.
And just like you, I am waiting to see that as well.
Yes,
I
let's
am
wait.
really hoping that happens as
Me
well.
too.
Okay? But we can't keep going back to, one of the first things you started out was, from way back, people get land for $1 and something a square foot. Do this right things now.
And I do
and in
understand
the
what you're
future.
saying, Ira, but what I'm saying is that there are people who know that this has been done, and just like you said, it is something
But that does
that
not
we have.
justify.
But
its
this, no.
continuing.
But this is not a case where favors were done. This is a case where the necessary letters were written, and it's unfair when one part of the story is being shared and the other part is not shared. It is not right, and this is what I talk about propaganda. You're taking information and you're not taking the whole of it, you're taking some of it. And this is what has been posing a lot of problems in the Federation.
Well, that's up to her to defend herself.
I don't think she has to defend
can't
herself.
We can't sit here outside of government, right? Outside of the process that happened and determine if everything was done above board, okay? What we do know is that there are hundreds, if not thousands of people who have been trying to get land all the time, and here comes someone who is in a high position, and it's questionable whether they can use that position to jump the queue.
Jump
You know,
which
that's
queue?
the thing. People don't like when people jump the
Listen,
queue.
they were not,
It's
and
not
Ira, let's
clear.
go down this road here. There were not lands, there's certain lands that were not available because these lands were swapped. The lands became available so more people can now get land. You applied for a piece of land, just like her, she would have applied for a piece of land, doesn't matter who was in there, because she had a need for it. This is land that she would have paid for. This is not land that she would have taken. This is land that she would have paid for. So because you're in government, and we're going to go back again, because everybody now going to have a discussion about this, but nobody going to see that it happened before and that information was not leaked. We are having a discussion about something that information was leaked, but we are not looking at all of the others, all of
Right.
the others who would have done the same thing.
Fair enough, but the thing is, remember that the unity government came in with the mantra that they will do better, they will fix these.
But what
kinds
has
of
she
things.
done wrong? I'm
And they
asking
did
you.
not do it.
I'm asking you.
Right?
I'm not. I'm
If-
asking
if
you.
they
What
had
did she
fixed
do
these-
wrong?
Let me tell you, if they had fixed these things, this would not have
Fix
been an
what
issue.
things? What did she do?
Nobody would have thought that it would be a good idea to leak this, right? And
No,
the
but you
reason
see
that
what it is.
caused
You know what
such
it
a
is. You know what
stir-
it is. Now listen, and we're not doing this, Ira. You know what it is? It's about people being malicious. There are people who hate people, and because you hate somebody, because
So why would they
let me
choose
tell you
her?
why. Let me
Why
tell you
don't-
why. Let me
why
tell you
would they
why.
choose her?
Let me tell you why. Because some people wanted to do things that was not in accordance to what was supposed to be done. And because as a permanent secretary, you put your foot down and decide we are not going to do this, we are going according to what the Constitution or the laws that govern certain decisions. And because they would have put their foot down and taken that stand, somebody decide, okay, now it's time for me to expose you. You buy land. You buy land for this. And this is the problem. We don't know people's intention. Why are you putting her stuff out there alone when other people the same thing has been done?
It was not other people, I mentioned the case of the task force and the payment. People were incensed with that too because there are
But
other
the people on the task.
There were other people on the front lines who didn't get anything.
No. That is, and again, that is not true, Ira. There are people, nurses will pay their salary. These are people who would have worked. So I am going to work for free? If I work, I expect to get paid. If you work, you expect to get paid?
That was part of the job, Sandra.
That wasn't
That was part of their job.
Going
So
for 24 hours, going for
reward-
18 hours, and so this was an honorarium. Somebody saying, I appreciate what you did, and I give you some money for it. What is wrong with that? What is wrong with that? It's an honorarium. Somebody, sometimes you get a star or medal.
So you are gonna reward the people who are already the highest paid people, and forget about those low down. No. You no wonder y'all lose the election so bad.
Oh well, then that's what it is, Ira.
Things like that.
Ira,
People.
Ira, and I'm
Yeah.
saying to you, we are saying these things have happened. It has happened before. Unity would have learned. And I'm telling you, I hope that this new administration would have learned from their mistake. And as we grow, and as time passes on, we would one of these days get a government that we won't have any problems of corruption. We won't have situations like this and leakage and all of these things with half
Right,
information.
So,
would
and
stop.
one other thing, Sandra. One other thing.
Yeah.
I listened to you and Curtis,
Mhm.
and you see that, and that is the problem I think you're having.
Yeah.
Right? You cannot defend wrong.
I am not defending
You
wrong. Tell
cannot
me what.
sit there and tell me that you don't, that the Prime Minister did not know of Curtis' predicament.
Who said the Prime
You
Minister
cannot
did
tell
not
me
know?
that.
I said the Prime Minister is not
Well, then why didn't you do
responsible.
something about it?
I said he was not responsible. This is the problem. I'm glad when you do the things.
If he knew and didn't do something about it, he is responsible.
You see what the ministers are saying before? They said the Prime Minister was undermining their ministry. When they do one thing, the Prime Minister came and do otherwise. They have their portfolios and they are given a portfolio. They're supposed to be doing their work. Curtis' case was a situation where he refused to take a vaccination. It was the task force who set those precedents. It was not the Prime
beyond
Minister.
that, before that, when his ID was pulled.
It was. I thought he said it was Mark Bradley, Patches, who's supposed to have done. It was Mark Bradley who was supposed to have done due diligence. How he becomes the Prime Minister's problem now? Mark Bradley was the one who was responsible for that.
Because the Prime Minister is responsible
For
what
everything?
goes on in his cabinet.
No, but in his
Everything, yes, that's what that once
Ira, come on, Ira, you are more.
the Prime Minister, man, Sandra.
Ira, no, I'm not going to give you
All
on
of
this
them
one.
knew. All of them knew.
So then why all the
Curtis
others didn't come up
situation.
against the Prime Minister and say, give back Curtis his thing?
Right.
So
all
why
of
is the
them
Prime
are-
Minister
all of
alone
them
to
are
blame?
culpable. And that was my point, All of them are culpable.
Exactly. Why?
Every last one of them.
So then why is the
Right?
Prime Minister taking the blame for all his ministers? They were paid a salary.
he-
They were given a
because he's the Prime
portfolio that they
Minister.
had to uphold.
But he's the Prime Minister.
No, that's not fair. So
No,
let me ask you a
that's
question.
not what-
So let me ask you a question. Okay.
Was
Okay.
it fair for him to
Good.
fire 6 of them?
I would make a good note of this because you and I are gonna have this discussion again. We're gonna continue to have these discussions, and I want to see where the responsibility of the Prime Minister is. If he has to carry all cabinet ministers, all the portfolios he's responsible for, then when is the Prime Minister gonna be able to start doing his work?
He is responsible.
If he has to micromanage,
Just like how he had the power to fire 6 of them, he has the responsibility.
yeah, well,
over the 6.
that's one of the problems.
Okay.
And Curtis is supposed to feel good because the person who took away his ID was fired. And so it's a pity that it didn't happen in the time in which it was supposed to. The person who took away Curtis' ID was fired. Maybe all of that was
And
one of the
went to
reasons
all
why.
this time.
Maybe it was
All this
all of
time,
that.
just-
Maybe it
just
was
because
all
he
of that
speaking
was.
out. Sandra, you should have been on his case too.
Huh?
He went to all this hurt and pain, just for speaking out. You
Who?
should have been defending the man.
Who?
Curtis.
Defending who? Curtis?
Defending Curtis, yes.
I'm a talk show host. And you all have done this, have this very wrong. I
An
speak my
influencer,
mind.
an
Listen,
influencer, yeah.
listen. I speak. Whatever you want to call it. I speak my mind. If people are influenced by the things that I say, well, maybe I'm that good. But I speak my mind. I have a right to. You speak your mind. You're on all the programs, and you come in and you speak your mind. But every time I would say something, I'm not a public figure. I do not work for government. I speak my mind, and my character has been maligned because I say how I feel. I have that right.
And also because you defend.
I don't
you should be an
defend. I
advocate.
present the facts.
You should be an advocate for good.
I am an advocate for good governance. I've always been an advocate for good governance. You and I have had this discussion, and I say it all along. I don't have no political position. I have not been given any political favors. I want peace. There's a lot of things that I wanted, like everybody else. But like you said, we have to stay in line. I've been in line since 1980, when I was 18 years old and I was able to vote. Looking for house and land just like everybody else. Never got. I had to work and buy private own. And the day you can get piece of government land is on internet.
Make sure there's criteria in place and everybody gets a fair shot at whatever the share is out there.
And I
Right?
appreciate
You know,
that.
the whole thing, this whole thing came about because of fair share. There's
Yeah.
a lot of unfair share going around, not
is
just
true.
in terms of St. Kitts and Nevis, but in terms of generally in terms of getting access to the resources of the country.
That is
and
true.
that has to be cleaned up.
Well, we have to see where that is going to go, and I
Yeah.
really appreciate you
Okay.
calling in again and having this discussion. It's always that one that gives me that feeling, one that makes sense, and the people can get certain information from it. Thanks for calling. Thanks for your contribution.
Anytime, sure.
Yep. We're out of time, and it's just what it is. I am going to say my last bit is this. Elvita Simpson Brown is a citizen of St. Kitts and Nevis, and she has rights like everybody else. We do hope, and I would say to the Honorable Prime Minister, sir, this is your time to shine. All that we said is wrong. I hope that you can make right, and that we can look forward to a government, according to IRA, that's going to practice good governance, and that all citizens of St. Kitts and Nevis would be treated equal. We have to get rid of this victimization and this vendetta, this of wanting to punish people. Everybody needs a chance, and people are going to do things in order to get that chance. If we can provide a government that is for the people and all of the people, I suppose we would get rid of all of the divisiveness, the hatred, and the bitterness, and we can live together as one. And we would be, St. Kitts and Nevis would always be the envy of the Caribbean and of the world over, because we are doing the right things. My name is Sandra Quilliatitan. It was a pleasure being here with you today, and I look forward to next Friday when we have another episode of Your Views. Stay tuned to WinFM 98.9. Voices is up next. I can't tell you about the protocols that are in place for COVID, but I know that COVID-19 is still a threat, and I ask you guys, even though the protocols are not there, make sure you do the right things. Social distance, wear your mask. COVID-19 is not going anywhere, but we can stop the spread of it if we continue to do the right things. So we can enjoy yourself. Make sure that whatever you do, that you're careful, because the life that you save might very well be your own.
Everywhere need God.